One guy, he can shoot. The other guy, not so much.
Where we gonna go to celebrate? Thinking Club Shay Shay.
Club Shay Shay.
Club Shay Shay, yep.
Get that stuff out of here.
And although they're very different in many ways, most importantly, they're brothers for life. And they always gonna have something to say.
That's exactly what's gonna happen. You gonna end up like Russell Westbrook. You gonna be just out.
The following video is brought to you by Tinkered Skin. Are you looking for natural skincare products that will enhance your natural beauty and rejuvenate your skin? Tinkered Skin definitely will accomplish that. With a long line of natural handcrafted products straight from the Bahamas, Tinkered Skin will never leave you disappointed. Try their new pumpkin spice lip scrub and their pumpkin spice exfoliating scrub, a part of their fall season collection. Get tinkered with Tinkered Skin.
Here we go. Welcome back. This is I Got Something to Say, home of the unmitigated gall. I'm your host, Quaylen Q. Smith, along with my partner, Alan A.J. Ward. We have a special guest in the house tonight, my boy Isaiah Rivers, the newly married man. Zay, what's happening, Captain?
What's up, y'all? How we doing?
What's going on? What's going on? I see Zay came on elegant with the winery tonight.
Absolutely.
Zay, thank you for coming tonight. We have a very, 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 very interesting topic. We'll be talking a little bit of NBA, and we'll be going into history, or maybe even the present. What we're talking about is this: who is the best scorer all time, the best pure scorer to put the ball in the basket? There are varying opinions in the world, varying opinions right here. Let's discuss it right here, right now. I'm going to start with my guest, Isaiah Rivers. Zay, who is the best scorer to ever touch a basketball on this planet Earth right here?
So let's come to a couple of agreements. Wow, I eat this Reese's here.
You're so unprofessional. But
one, different eras may have different answers, okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to narrow this down to two people. Just two people. In my era, what I understand, Kevin Durant is probably the best scorer to ever touch this floor. The era directly before me, Allen Iverson, or people may argue Kobe Bryant. I'm going to say Allen Iverson. So, but for me right now, this era, Kevin Durant is the best scorer to touch this floor. Point blank period.
Okay. I'm going to absolutely annihilate that taking a moment, but I'm going to let Alan get in there. Alan, go ahead. What do you think?
Russell Westbrook. No,
Okay.
I'm joking.
He must be dope.
Shut his mic off. We're not going to do this tonight.
Honestly, man. I think I gotta go with KD too.
Come on. I mean, you have to. Come on. Let's be realistic.
So y'all really don't think James Harden has a case?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Okay, tell me why James Harden doesn't have a case, Mr. Newly Married Man. So you still in marital bliss. Okay. You still in marital bliss. You're not seeing things correctly. That's what it is. But go ahead.
That's always what it is. Okay. How many 3-pointers did James Harden take last year?
Educate me.
About 6,300. How many did he make? Like 2,000.
Are you last year? He took 6,000 threes?
He took 6,300 3-pointers last year.
No, ain't no way.
Okay, I'm about to double check that. Basketballreference.com
This is fresh research here. This is like brand new research.
6,000 last year.
Over 6,000 last year. Over 6,000 3-pointers.
600 or 6,000?
Listen.
Whoa. If that's whoa.
All right.
There's no way that's true. There's no way that's true.
The Houston Rockets took 6,000 threes.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. You need to put the wine down. See, this is what happens. You need to put the wine down. This is your first time on the show. You debuted on the show, and then you that. But go ahead.
Houston Rockets took 6,000 and made 2,000. Okay. But James Harden took, I want to say around, actually, it was more so around like the 600, 700 mark. Ended up making like 200 or so. But
843.
Okay, 143. Good. Thank you. So the percentages are very close to about the same, except James Harden's a little bit less than the whole team. James Harden's points obviously come from the three-pointer and free throws. Am I 100% mad about that? No, I'm not. But the reason why I can't call him the best scorer is because, for me at least, if you're going to be the best scorer, it needs to lead to something, right? James Harden's scoring ability leads to absolutely nothing for a team.
Really?
Nothing. He will score.
They haven't made it to 3 conference finals in the last 5 years?
What happens every time?
Okay, they've lost to the Warriors.
I know. I'm asking for it. Just say it.
They've lost to the Warriors.
Absolutely.
And the Spurs 1 year, but in the conference finals, they always lose to the Warriors.
And when they lost to the Spurs, James Harden had a 30-point triple-double in which he attempted to shoot a jump shot that was blocked by who?
Manu Ginobili.
Manu Ginobili.
What's your point?
Down. All the regular season scoring James Harden does is absolutely worthless. He is a regular season dribble, step back, wham, hit the step back 3, made the 2 free throws player.
By that same logic, little bro, we have to talk about this. Prior to KD going to Golden State, he won a few scoring titles, 4 in fact. Could you tell the people where that led to?
Losing.
Oh!
Guess what he always said? Guess what KD always said? He said he was always second. He said he was always second to who? LeBron James. He never got out of his head that he was second. He knew he was second. He knew he was going to lose. James Harden has no thought process that his game translates to losing. See, Kevin Durant knew how he was playing in OKC was not going to do anything for him. Thus forth, he went to the Warriors to win because he knew him dribble, shot, 35 points a game was losing. He knew that. James Harden has no comprehension that he will never win anything.
Okay, let me ask you a question since we want to talk about, because people kill me disrespecting James Harden in this regard. They say, okay, his style of play, you're not going to win like that.
Correct.
But here's my thing. What's the alternative? James Harden doesn't do what he does. Let's say he dials it back. He averaged 34 points per game this year. Let's say he dials it back to 27, 28. Do they win? Because keep in mind this, just what was it, 2-3 seasons ago, James Harden led the league in assists 2 or 3 years ago while averaging 29.5 points per game. Can I interest you in that?
Yeah. Which led to what?
Okay, he did not have a better team than the Warriors. But don't act like the way his style of play, he's the reason why they're losing. No, he's the reason why.
Oh, here's the thing, Quaylen. Don't start me with this whole assist game, because last time I checked, Russell Westbrook averaged 30, 10, and 10 and was 8th seed and lost in the first round.
Shalom, Russ. I'm not gonna let you do that. I'm not gonna let you Mr. Russ.
My thing is this: averaging 10 assists, congratulations. My point is this: are you making winning plays? The answer to James Harden is no.
What's the alternative?
Not making winning plays.
What's the alternative? Let me ask you a question. Which one of those Houston Rockets teams was better than those Warrior teams?
Oh, none of them.
And that's James's fault because he don't want to play winning basketball?
No, he's not a winner. Think about it. When LeBron won, was the Cavs team better than the Warriors team? No.
In 2016?
Not on paper. No, it was not better than the Warriors team.
That's actually really shaky. If you want to
it was not better than the Warriors team.
Let me ask you a question. Who was the best player on the floor in that series?
LeBron James.
Okay. Then
who's the best player on the floor every series?
Okay, and that's perfectly fine. So we already know they're working with the best player.
That's not a good question.
So, and that's fine. So we already know they're working with the best player. But let's talk about this. Now let's go from the bottom up. Tell me this. Who's better? Kevin Love, Draymond Green?
Depends who you're talking to.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm talking to you. That's why I'm asking you the question. Who's better, Kevin Love, Draymond Green?
In 2016, unfortunately, I don't want to say this, Draymond Green. Let's fight about it.
You honestly believe that?
In the playoffs, unfortunately, Draymond Green was better. That is not something I want to admit because I hate Draymond Green. But in the playoffs, he was. I'm sorry. He was.
Alan Ward, also known in this situation as Rob G. Check that out real quick. Check those numbers out for me.
Please.
What I'm saying is this.
Yeah,
James Harden, and it's funny. I remember Chris Broussard on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio was talking about this recently. How because I personally hate Mike D'Antoni as a coach. I don't think he's a winning coach. But Chris Broussard made this great point. He said, "Which one of those Houston Rockets teams were actually?"
Wait.
Yeah, actually, here's what he said. He said Mike D'Antoni's teams as a whole. None of his teams have ever been a favorite or a championship favorite, period, point blank.
But Quentin, wait a second, though.
Go ahead.
You don't like Mike D'Antoni as a coach.
I do not.
What is Mike D'Antoni's main philosophy?
Quick offense up and down the floor, high volume three-point field goal offense.
What does James Harden do?
He is a high volume shooter.
So you're vouching for James Harden.
Absolutely.
Who plays a Mike D'Antoni style of basketball.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Has Mike D'Antoni always been there?
It doesn't matter. No.
It does matter.
He plays the same.
He was playing with Kevin McHale.
James Harden.
What are you talking about?
James Harden flourished. He flourished in the Mike D'Antoni. He averaged 35 points a game in the Mike D'Antoni style. They took over 6,000 three-pointers in the Mike D'Antoni. And 6,000 of those, 843.
Okay, so what about that? Okay, so you're telling me he flourished. You're telling me he flourished. You're telling me that he's averaging 35 points per game. Tell me about that. What makes Kevin Durant a better scorer than? But I just said a pure scorer. Take the ball, put the ball in the bucket.
I'll tell you right now. Kevin Durant got to the finals. What he was doing. He got to the finals of what he was doing.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Has James Harden
let me ask you a question.
Has James Harden ever been to the finals?
Prior to him getting with 2 Hall of Famers in Golden State, what was he doing?
Say that one more time for me.
Yeah, because you're not listening. You got the Tootsie Roll stuck in your ear. You got to get them out.
No,
you in the medical field. You know how to handle that. But we'll talk about that at a later time in a different episode on a different segment. Here's what I'm asking you, though. Prior to Kevin Durant joining, and I'm not knocking his move, but prior to him joining the Warriors, because we're talking about career in totality. Prior to him joining the Warriors, you made the comment, okay, he got to the finals.
Yes, he did.
Kevin Durant also got to the finals one other time in his career before he went to the Warriors. Guess who else was on that team when he got to the finals? That'd be James Harden. My question to you is this: What
role did he play?
He was a six man. That
right there. I'm not saying James Harden belongs there now, but he belongs in a reduced role. He is not the man.
Actually, it's funny.
Not the man.
It's funny. Not only did James Harden win 6th Man of the Year that year, but he shot just a tick under 50% from the field that year. He shot
while taking significantly less shots than he does.
Okay,
now.
but it's funny. Wait. Come on. Here's the thing. Alan,
run the numbers. How many shots did he take then when he won 6th Man of the Year?
I do have to say this.
It's at least 4 less. At least 4 less shots a game.
I will have to say this. Draymond Green was better than Kevin Love.
Thank you.
Draymond averaged 15, 10, and 6, and Kevin Love averaged 14 and a half, 9 and 2.
Yeah.
Draymond Green he averaged more steals and blocks, and he shot better from the field.
I'm not losing it. I know.
Okay.
I didn't know that either. I was like, dag.
I know.
Okay. I can take my lumps. Hey, you got that one. I got you.
I didn't want to say it. I hate Draymond. I hate him. But
okay.
James Harden, what? About James Harden, what do we need to know?
What was your question, Zay?
The question was, how many shots per game did he take during the season he won $6 million a year versus now?
What year did he win $6 million a year?
I have no idea.
That was 2011, 2012.
He took 10 shots.
The first year LeBron won the finals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2011,
10
2012.
And did he beat OKC that year?
Yeah, he beat OKC that year in the finals, 2012. Yep.
Right. Okay.
I was looking for it's funny. James Harden still played in that season 31.4 minutes per game, so he was playing starter-esque minutes.
He was.
I never denied season.
Never denied that.
So it's not like Harden was barely on the floor. Like Harden was on the floor for a significant. Yeah, he was coming off the bench, but in key situations, really to close the game, he was always on the floor. Matt Barnes. I don't really care for anything that comes out of Matt Barnes' mouth, but he did say this. He says this all the time. He said it's not about who starts the game, it's about who finishes the game. And James Harden was always there to finish the game. What I'm saying is this: since then, you want to bring up, okay, he was a sixth man there. Okay, so the season following the 2012-2013 season, from that point in his career on, guess who actually averages more points per game?
Who?
That'd be James Harden at 29.7 to KD's 27 even. Since that point, since James Harden became a full-time starter in Houston.
How many years did they play together?
I'm saying one thing. Once James Harden departed, once he got kicked to the curb for freaking Serge Ibaka,
which was smart,
a $5 million total kicker, which I don't understand that. Figure that one out for me. What I'm saying is,
he wanted to leave.
No, he didn't. It's funny. James Harden.
Okay, so you want to argue who's had more points per game? Who's been more successful?
Zay, that's not the okay. Listen, that's not
who's been more successful.
Okay. If that's the case, then Michael Jordan's the greatest scorer of all time. If that's the case, Michael Jordan's the greatest scorer of all time. Who's been more successful, Michael Jordan or Kevin Durant?
I mean, Michael Jordan, obviously.
So is he a better scorer?
I don't think so.
Why not? He has more success. Who's more successful?
That's actually debatable between someone not in my generation. But for me, no, absolutely not. I don't think so.
Okay, Zay, that's ill pragmatic, and you know it. Because the fact of the matter is, team success and individual prowess are two different things. You know that, and I know that. Because you can say that Kevin Durant was on James Harden level until he got with two Hall of Famers and a unanimous MVP the season prior. The same team that put him out when he was up 3-1, huh?
3 Hall of Famers.
3 Hall of Famers. And the unanimous MVP from the season prior who put him out the playoffs. You can say that this medial level that James Harden is on.
If you get on that team, right, and still average 27 points a game, what does that tell you about that player?
You don't think James Harden would have averaged 27 points per game on that team?
Absolutely not.
Why?
I think this. James Harden would have got on that team and been out of there ASAP. Let me tell you why. For this reason alone. Kevin Durant gets his buckets not by the three-point line, by mid-range. James Harden
never shoots mid-range jumpers, but go ahead.
He doesn't. Because if you look at Mike D'Antoni's offense, they've said this 1,000 times. Carmelo Anthony, when he played for the Houston Rockets, he would apologize for taking mid-range shots, and those are his bread and butter. They were not allowed. So
that goes to my point earlier, Zay. He wasn't always playing. He only played under D'Antoni for 3 seasons. He's been in Houston for 8 seasons. D'Antoni's only been there for 3.
Who was there before?
Kevin McHale.
They hated each other. Congratulations. I don't know what they had
but you know what they did? They went to a Western Conference Finals. You know what he did? He took a lot more mid-range shots than he did. I don't like D'Antoni. I get you. But what I'm saying is, let's not act like he played this exact same way the entire time. And by the way, he led the league in assists, so he passes the ball.
They went there in what?
15.
They went there and lost.
Okay.
They went there and lost.
Didn't Kevin Durant do that same thing? Didn't Kevin Durant do that same thing in 16?
Every single team, led by James Harden, has lost. He is not a scoring winner. He is a scoring loser.
Isaiah, You're
He's a
confusing
loser.
team success with
Here's the thing.
individual pride. It's just like
Listen
you
to
know what
me.
you sound like.
Listen to
You know
me.
what you sound like.
Listen to
You
me.
sound
Quayla, listen
you
to me.
sound like a delusional Tom Brady fan because
Listen to
this
me.
is the same
You listen
logic
to me.
Tom Brady fans.
Listen,
This is the same.
please listen.
You know what he is? Zay, let me tell
If
Jose. Tell
Allen
us-
Iverson, if Allen Iverson had never made ever made the finals, this would be a similar argument between him and somebody else during that time period. You can argue that.
Didn't he lose when he get there?
Yes. But listen to me. James Harden has never, ever, ever, ever been to the final forefront. This is the same conversation I had
That's
with.
he's actually in the finals one time. But go ahead.
This is the same conversation I have with Giannis fans. I have this same conversation with Giannis lovers. They love Giannis. Oh, Giannis this, Giannis that. He's never even been to the final forefront. He's never even been the top 2 teams in the league, led by him, supposedly led by him. Want to know why? His scoring is pointless. It serves no purpose.
That's not
You're
the same.
a
No,
loser.
talking about. That's not the same case. Because again, okay, so with Kevin Durant, talking about Zay, no, I'll let you talk. Talking about Zay. I got a question for you.
Hey, 30, what? 7?
I got a question for you. I got a question for you.
A 37-year-old Manu Ginobili.
Was Kevin Durant scoring pointless prior to 2017?
He went to the finals before.
Prior to 2017.
He went to the finals before then. Played LeBron.
In 2000. Okay, so all them other years in between. They didn't go to the finals. Between 2011.
No. He's been there now. My point is this. His scoring has proven that it leads to some form of success.
It led to losses in the conference finals, and before they were losing.
His scoring.
What are you talking about?
His scoring, his team leadership has led him to the promised land. I'm not saying he's won. He did not win because he went up against LeBron. I'm sorry. He lost against LeBron.
Okay, Zay.
Had it been someone else, he probably would have won.
You're not listening. Zay, listen. That I'm sorry. I say 2011, 2012. In 2012, KD went to the finals and lost. I'm not knocking him. He went to the finals and lost. That was the same year he had.
The team led by him.
Time out. That's the same year he had Russ Westbrook and James Harden.
Correct.
Understand he had more help that year than he had the following years. James Harden played starter minutes and was the 6th man of the year. Almost unanimous. That is
James Harden is
hold on a second, Zay, hold up. The minute James Harden departed and he had less help from that season, so from 2013, 14, 15, and 16. 1 year, time out, Zay. 1 year Kevin was hurt, so we're gonna throw that year out. That's 3 years. You see that? Hold on a second. 3 years. He did not make it to the finals. And
what about with Russell?
What about him?
What happened?
What's your question?
What happened with James Harden, and why did he not make it to the finals with Russ Westbrook plus help? He had help. Don't deny. He had help. Why did he not make it to the finals with Russell plus help?
You're making my point. And here's why I say that. So when you add team success as to who, to differentiate who's the better scorer,
correct.
You tell me what help James Harden has had more than Kevin Durant had in Golden State.
Yeah, that's not. You can't. Yeah, that's not.
You mean more than he had in Golden State? I'm not saying James Harden had more than he had in Golden State.
Okay,
Kevin Durant had the most help in Golden State you could ever imagine.
Okay, so you're making my point. Kevin Durant, as great of a scorer as he is, was not winning rings until he got with Golden State.
I'm not talking about winning a championship. I'm talking about at least going to the finals.
Okay,
he went to the finals. He went to the finals with a premature Russell and Harden. They were not fully realized. You understand that, right?
I don't know. I have a hard time when people say that about.
Oh no! Look at the stats. Look at the stats. I'm not going to argue that with you.
I mean, you look at the stats.
Alan, do the stats. It's not even comparable. So he went to the finals with a premature. I mean, very premature. Very. I mean, he's averaging 35 points now. He's averaging like 17 points, 18 points then with 31 minutes a game. 31 minutes now. James Harden is like 37 points. So we're not even doing that. So very, very, very premature Russell Westbrook and James Harden. Not even close to the same product we have now. So he went to the finals with that. That's what Kevin Durant scoring took him to in 2012.
Zay, Zay, that's unfair. That's unfair because now you're minimizing.
There's
now you're minimizing the production that you got from Westbrook and Harden.
Am I minimizing it? No, I'm saying this. They were not these. No.
Okay, they're not. They're not who they were today.
You say James Harden now.
They're not who they are today. But they were still viable.
They are quite
servable pieces. Isaiah,
half of what they are today. Half.
And that's perfectly fine. But you know what's so funny?
That is what
I'm talking about. Zay.
That is what KD. No. Listen. Quayle, listen. That is what KD went to the finals.
Zay, but what you're not under, I get you, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. But what I'm saying is this, Zay. What I'm saying is this: a half Russell Westbrook and a half James Harden is way better than so many more players. That's how great they are. And if you take what they are and take them at half, that's still a great player.
It's not even way better. It's comparable. You can compare these players to other players now. Absolutely. If you take the time.
No, because you gotta remember, we're not just talking about the individual players. We're talking about that team collectively. So them on that, you could take like okay, Bradley Beal for instance. Okay, you're right. He is comparable to a James Harden or Russell Westbrook of that time. But on that team collectively, they were a great team because of those other pieces. I'll let you two have at it again.
Yeah, because I'm sorry, because like I said, once you took James Harden off of that team, the Thunder never got back to the finals. They didn't, and they had shots. They had a couple of shots. They were there.
They were up 3-1. They were up 3-1 against the Warriors.
So I mean, they had shots, but they didn't do it. That's not to take away from Kevin Durant scoring. This is not a conversation to say Kevin Durant's scoring ability couldn't propel them there. But what I'm saying is team circumstances and situations. Obviously, the Golden State Warriors team was better. They had the unanimous MVP that year in 2016 and two more All-Stars in Draymond and Klay Thompson. And oh, by the way, Klay Thompson is a top 5, more than likely a top 3 shooter of all time behind Steph and Ray Allen. I say Steph, Ray Allen.
Not shooting guard, but shooter.
That's what I'm saying. He's a top 3 shooter of all time, a pure shooter, top 3 of all time. That's who he lost to. That's fine. But what I'm saying is he lost because he was on a team that had inferior talent. They were not built as well as that Golden State team, and they almost beat them. What I'm saying is James Harden, it's not fair to take that situation for James Harden because that's been James Harden. James Harden has always had the inferior team. Even when he was in the conference finals against that same Golden State team a year prior, the year Golden State won their first championship, he was rolling out there with Dwight Howard, Donatas Montiunas, and Patrick Beverly. What are we supposed to do with that?
How about the same thing LeBron did in 2015?
He's not LeBron.
Okay, but nobody's saying James Harden is LeBron James, but nobody said is Kevin Durant LeBron James?
He's closer than James Harden.
And that's fine, but is he LeBron James?
He's closer. Closer.
And that's fine.
Closer.
Come on.
Closer than James Harden is my point.
And that's fine. Zay, and Zay, you know where they got him? The same place got James Harden out in the conference finals. We got to drop this subject right here.
It got him to the finals.
When?
Against LeBron. What are you talking about?
And Zay, again, guess who was on that team? James Harden. Once James Harden departed,
oh my God.
And that's
lower facts.
No, I can't dispute the fact.
No,
talk about Zay. We got to end this
James Harden with
Zay.
No, let's just do his stats.
Zay, we got to end the segment.
No, listen.
Zay.
16.8 points.
Zay, we got to end this segment. My camera's going to die.
3.7 assists.
Zay, my camera's gonna die. We have to end this segment. This is my show. Stop it. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back with another episode. We'll have Zay back to discuss this again so I can go ahead and kill his argument once again. Zay, we thank you for coming. Again, I'm with my partner, Alan A. Ward. This is I Got Something to Say, home of the unmitigated God. We'll be right back after this commercial break with another fire episode. Booyah!
Absolutely.